I'm so excited. This week, I'm going to go back into some of the inner soul searching work I do in the Finding Balance series and talk about one of the sacred keys that we all have that can help you unlock your inner reality and awaken your world through positive, uplifting, and inspired information. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, my name's Kim, and I am a specialized Chinese medical provider and Taoist practitioner. And this channel is all about you, sharing with you information and solutions from the ancient Chinese cabinet of healing remedies and helping you figure out how to use those solutions in your everyday life. This is going to be a two-part series, and the first episode is going to focus on energy. From mystics to science to Jesus, you've heard that you create your world. I'm going to pull together a drop of information from the wealth of information available in science and mysticism. And this is important because you're going to use your understanding of energy in the second part when I identify the sacred key and the tools to help you use the key to unlock your inner reality. Let's start looking at energy, how it's formed and how you create it, to how it's expressed in your life. You may have heard that everything is energy. The manifestation of the body, the mind, life is all the manifestation of energy. If you think about yourself as energy, then every expression in life is a wave with different densities. Have you ever noticed how you can tap the middle of a puddle and the energy from that tap expands and extends to the edges of the puddle where it disappears into the soil? I used to be amazed at how much of our body is water. Somewhere around 60% of our body weight is water. Look at the ocean. Amazing how beautiful and relaxing the rhythmic flow of waves on the shores can be. Waves are energy passing through water, causing the water to move in a circular motion. And waves transmit energy, not water, across the ocean. And if not obstructed by anything, the energy wave can travel across the entire ocean. Wind is energy that creates waves as it blows across the oceans, lakes, and rivers. So we start to see that energy is a non-visible force that causes changes in the environment. Yet, how does energy, this non-visible force, work in the body? Okay, let's do a little bit of science because it helps us understand how important we are. So in the early part of the 20th century, quantum theory found the observer effect. And before this effect, science had thought the world worked without you. The observer effect found just the opposite. Just observation or even thinking about observing actually determined the outcome. In the 1920s, physicist Pascual Jordan stated that observation not only disturbs what's being measured, it produces what's being measured. We compel a quantum particle to assume a definite position. So what Pascual Jordan was saying was that we ourselves determine the outcome of a measurement. Isn't that crazy? Science is saying our thoughts produce a specific end result. Our thoughts move like energy through water, through our body, and out into the world. And you're not creating a random disturbance. You're creating a specific end result. We all have people we like to be around. These people who I like being around, I'll say things like, they have such positive energy, or I may say, they always have good vibes. I describe their presence as energy that has an impact on my mood, yet quantum theory takes it one step further and suggests their presence not just changes an outcome, but directs the outcome. And Chinese medicine sees the body as more than just parts that you tinker with, like a mechanic tinkers with a car and can keep it going. Chinese medicine defines the bodies as organs, emotions, vortexes, valleys, ocean, space, energy, light, and so much more. You know, to get a brief introduction to disease in Chinese medicine, check out my video, Understanding Chinese Medicine and Disease. Okay, where was I going with this? Oh, let's talk about energy now that we know how energy moves and how it's produced. Emotions are a type of thought, and I think they're a strong thought because they're associated with feelings. Emotions are more significant than the process of thinking through something like an algebra problem. There's a lot of thinking going on with algebra problems, but not much emotion. Remember the first time you fell in love? Those thoughts changed your heart rate, impacted your sleep, altered your moods, and made it difficult to concentrate. Where do emotions live in the body? There isn't an emotion organ. Do they live in the brain, or does the brain just help process all the circumstances of life? Or do they live in the heart, and that's why our heartbeat goes up? Maybe they live in the kidneys, which is why our blood pressure changes when we think about someone we love. And if they are energy, do they have to live anywhere? I don't know the answer to this. I do know that Chinese medicine believes that different emotions are expressed due to different imbalances in the body. And from my work in clinic, it appears Chinese medicine is pretty right on. Irritability, argumentative nature, anger have a tendency to attach to an out of balance liver. And if there's changes in the heart channel, that has a tendency to produce anxiety in someone. The most interesting thing I had heard was that it is common for someone to experience anxiety weeks to months before having a heart attack. Like every wind or breeze starts somewhere on this planet, an emotion is a wave in the body that starts in a specific location. So, anxiety is a wind that begins in the land of the heart, and anger is a wind that begins in the land of the liver. Each of the organs is attached to a meridian in Chinese medicine, and these meridians are described as waterways in the medical literature. Like a tap in the middle of a puddle, the wave of emotion energy moves from where it started and follows the waterway of the organ. Like different people, some emotions lift us up and make us feel happy, while others bring us down and leave us feeling sad. I go back and think about what I said at the beginning of this episode. What if we are just energy? Energy that has focused on creating and consolidating all the particles that make up our body and life. Our physical body becomes a shell of particles and electrical impulses responding to each of our thoughts, and sometimes in very predictable manners. See, that's the thing. In Chinese medicine, they have put so much effort into this that there are very predictable paths these waves will travel and predictable paths on how they'll manifest. Emotions can be seen like drops of water. Over time, many drops of water wear down a stone. Over time, an emotion experienced over and over again travels like a wave along the specific waterway associated with the particular land of the organ, eroding that shoreline and weakening or damaging different areas along that waterway. Maybe the wave washes soil downstream to get stuck in the narrows of the waterway and cause flooding. Maybe it wears away a rocky shoreline. And sure, not all emotions will wear down the body and cause damage. The emotions that can build up the body are going to be a different story. And if you checked out my video on understanding Chinese medicine and disease, you know the disease isn't the physical symptom. The disease started before any physical symptoms are experienced, and it's not a natural process of aging. I hadn't really thought about why almost everybody I know ends up with low back pain. In fact, I only know a couple people who don't have low back pain. And it wasn't until my back pain started to really flare up that I decided to put some thought into it. And I could have easily said it was signs of aging, and that would have given me a great get out of jail card free. I wouldn't have had to put any effort into this. I would have had to do no self-discovery, no self-reflection, no self-healing. And if I was super lucky, I would have been able to find a pill to suppress the pain. Yet, let's say there's something to quantum theory, energy, and Chinese medicine. Both quantum theory and Chinese medicine believe energy creates reality. And it's not just quantum theory that thinks your thoughts are energy. Chinese medicine does too. So let's see. There's a few concepts that I wanted to make sure I covered in this episode. First, everything is a form of energy. Energy moves through all objects. Energy is non-visible, but it applies a force to an object causing movement. And thoughts and emotions are a type of energy. Emotions just have a more substantial influence on the physical body. And emotions can have a negative or a positive influence on the body, and disease is not a natural result of aging. Okay, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover in this episode. Next week, we're going to take all these concepts and we are going to wrap it into the sacred key, and you're also going to get tools to use to help you unlock that key and better understand your world and your reality. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you on the other side.